Howdy, gamers! Damn, that was loud. I've been filming too much with my headphones on, and I forgot how loud I talk. What living alone does to you, ladies and gentlemen, when only your thoughts can hear you. They scream.
Nani?
Hello, everybody. My name is Offbeat Outlaw, and I am a tabletop RPG gamer supreme. What even is this title? And I am a professional game math nerd, I guess. I guess that's what I do.
Thank you for doing this. This is a weird job, but I appreciate it.
Today we're going to be going through some things that's happening in the 1D&D playtest. I'm gonna be honest, it's looking bad. It's looking, I don't want to fearmonger. I don't want to be an ad like who's just like, oh, it's bad because Wizard of the Coast sucks. I want to give them credit where credit's due. Too bad that the only credit that's due is the payments, because this shit sucks. I'm genuinely confused and concerned for the future of TTRPGs as a hobby. This might be as bad, in my opinion, as, well, not as bad as 4th edition, but it's definitely going to be markedly worse than what we're currently having with 5th edition. So why is that? Before we get into that, though, please, if you have the time, please support my Patreon. My Patreon is only $3 a month, and you get to see all of my videos 24 hours early. So if you like seeing my channel, if you like seeing my face, please join the Patreon. You can also DM me directly, and I try my best to answer those every single day. So if you want to send me your builds, get advice on D&D, get advice on DMing, please send that shit my way. I'll give you all the sweet attention that you need for money. Anyway, let's get into the new D&D playtest documents. 1D&D, baby. All right, let's read, everybody. Let's read now. Fucking I need to stop saying things before I'm ready. All right, here we have all of the features present in the Monk UA. We can see we got martial arts, martial discipline, deflect missiles, monk subclass, ability score improvements, slow fall, extra attack stunning, like all this shit. We're gonna go through everything that's changed, everything that isn't changed, and all that jazz. Weapon mastery is a new first level feature giving you new ways to use weapons. This gives people like the different ways to use their different abilities and whatnot. I think it's very much a nothing feature. I think they're okay. All the weapon masteries I've seen, they don't really add any extra damage. They add a little bit of extra utility, but nothing much. Monks also really want to be using their unarmed strikes because that's the cool thing that they can do. Martial discipline, formerly key, improved step of the wind, which now lets you take both the disengage and dash action. Crazy, whatever, I don't really care. Deflect missile has been redesigned, making it easier to use in more situations. Heightened metabolism, making it easier for the monk to regain discipline points and to gain other benefits of a short rest. Okay, that's fine. Stunning strike can now be used only once per turn, and the stun lasts until the start of your next turn. Whew. That's massive. That's really fucking bad. Holy shit. So you're telling me Monk, the class that has the single worst DPS in the game post level 10, we're nerfing its only good feature that it gets at level 5? The class that famously sucks, famously struggles to keep pace, we're nerfing its good feature? That's bad. That's bad. Empowered strikes now lets you deal force damage. That's fucking whatever. Acrobatic movement is new name of unarmored movement. Okay, self-restoration, place stillness of mind period bond time spot, allows you to remove the conditions as a bonus action, not an action. Okay, deflect energy allows you to deflect spell attacks. That's pretty good. Discipline survivor, formerly called Diamond Soul, superior defense. Been redesigned to not rely on spells. Removed from 20th to level to now 15th level. Defy Death is now a 20th level feature. Okay, so let's read these features one by one. So, martial arts. You can roll a d6 in place of normal strike of an unarmed strike. This is a buff. It increases the damage of the monk, meaning that the monk now, instead of dealing a d4 at level 1, can deal a d6, which is a really, really good place to start. That's a good place to start buffing the monk. Martial discipline. You get your discipline points back on short rest. This is the same. Step of the wind. Spend one to take both the disengage and dash action as a bonus action, and your jump distance is doubled for this turn. This is a decent change. Movement has never been a problem for the monk, but I don't really see why. Like, I don't really, this is kind of a nothing. It's fine. I'm not going to be against it, but I don't think it does anything crazy for the monk either. Level 2, unarmored movement. Your speed increased by 10 feet while you aren't wearing armor or wielding a shield. This is annoying because why can barbarians wield shields? Deflect missiles. If you reduce the damage to 0, you can spend 1 discipline point to redirect the attack toward another creature. If you do so, choose a creature within 60 feet of yourself that isn't behind total cover. That creature must succeed on a dex saving throw or take damage equal to 2 rolls of your martial arts die. The damage is the same type dealt by the attack. This is a slight damage increase, but on a dex save, a lot of things start getting really good at dex saves really early. I feel like this is actually kind of a nerf because hitting attack rolls is much more consistent than making opponents fail dex saves. I think this deflect missiles change isn't really that great. I think this is a bit of a nerf. I'm not gonna point this out as being like, oh my god, monks are unplayable, but I don't think this is a good change. I don't think it's a good change. Monk subclass. You get a monk subclass of your choice. Way of Mercy, Warrior of Mercy, Warrior of Shadow, Warrior of the 4 Elements, or Warrior of Open Hand subclasses. Ability score improvement, level 4. Slow fall. Extra attack. Woo. Stunning strike. This is a big problem, in my opinion. This is actually a major fucking problem. One D&D promised us that we would be buffing the martials, and yet we're nerfing the monk, the weakest class in Dungeons and Dragons. This is what happens when we don't analyze classes empirically. When we go off of, I feel like it's strong, rather than actually looking at the class and going, okay, how useful is Stunning Strike past 8th level? It's not, is the answer, because everything's got high constitution saving throws, many monsters have proficiency in those saving throws, and things start getting legendary resistances. So, Stunning Strike is borderline useless, post level 8. Level 10, it's really useless. Post level 11, you may as well not fucking be there. But yet we're nerfing the weakest feature on the class. Some people say it's good for the health of the game because you could you could like stunlock people, or you could spam it if they kept succeeding. It wasted a significant number of key points, meaning that you could go all in, but you would be hindered for the rest of the fight. So it was balanced in the way that you didn't have resources for the rest of the fight to do anything else. You couldn't Step of the Wind, you couldn't Patient Defense, you couldn't deflect missiles. So nerfing this feature, making it only once per turn, means that you can waste a key point and then do fuck all, because your damage isn't high enough to be worthwhile. The D6 damage increase helps. That damage bump helps. What at level 5 is the damage of a monk? Do they have it here? Level 5, okay, the D8 is good. That's good. That's actually a really good change, but it's still not necessarily enough. We need a little bit more. This is a really bad change because monks are already weak in terms of damage. They need something else to diversify why they're strong, and Stunning Strike for a while has been that. The fact that they've removed it means they can't do that anymore. It means that this whole dimension to the character, to the class, is removed, meaning you're not going to be dealing as much damage, meaning that you're not going to be hitting your attacks as often, meaning you're going to be using most of your key points on Flurry of Blows and stuff, which doesn't deal enough damage. Hopefully the subclasses can fix this. Hopefully, because right now, no, this is terrible. Empowered Strikes now makes it force damage rather than magical. I think this is a fine change. Doesn't really do anything. Gain feature from your monk subclass feature. Evasion. You said take no damage, succeed on save. Evasion is the same. Heightened Metabolism. This is a new feature. If you spend at least 1 minute resting, you can give yourself all the benefits of a short rest. Once you use this feature, you can't use it again until you finish a long rest. This is a pretty good change for the monk. This gives them more uses of their key points, meaning that they can more efficiently engage in combat. I think this is a fine change, especially if this fucking Stunning Strike change didn't exist, but it does. Ability score improvement, 8th level. You gain the ability score improvement feat, blah, blah, blah. Acrobatic movement. While you aren't wearing armor or wielding a shield, you gain the ability to move along vertical surfaces and across liquids on your turn without falling during the movement. This is fine. This is a fine change. This is the same, I mean. The problem with this feature has always been that flight is usually very accessible at this level, so this feature usually doesn't end up doing nearly as much as you would like it to. Self-restoration, 10th level. Through sheer force of will, you can use a bonus action to remove one of the following conditions from yourself: charmed, frightened, or poisoned. In addition, foregoing food and drink doesn't give you levels of exhaustion. This is pretty okay. Being able to just remove charmed, frightened, or poisoned can be quite useful. I think this is pretty neat, and the fact that it's a bonus action is actually quite useful because it means you can still efficiently use your action. I think this is a fine change. The thing is, though, is that by 10th level, you have a paladin who, by the way, we're going to talk about later in this video. We're going to talk a little bit about the paladin, that their auras are going to be buffing you so much, you're going to be avoiding most of this, and paladins can already give you immunity to frightened. So this feature might not be as useful as you would like it to be at the level that it's given. 11th level feature, you gain a feature from your monk subclass. Ability score improvement. Deflect energy. You can now use your deflect missiles feature against range attacks to deal any damage type, not just bludgeoning, piercing, or slashing. This is a good change. I like this. It used to be the thing that the force damage monks with their arms could do. This is the astral self monk. This is whatever. I'm glad that it's here. I'm glad that it's here. 14th level, Discipline Survivor. Your physical and mental discipline grants you proficiency in all saving throws. Additionally, whenever you make a saving throw and fail, you can spend 1 discipline point to re-roll it and take the second result. This is something that they took from the fighter and gave to the monk, meaning that they can save against saving throw spells more easily. Indomitable was changed so that it now adds your fighter level, which is crazy strong. But this being given to the monk, I think is fine. Diamond Soul was always a decent feature. I would like to point out, though, that at the level that you get it, it's a +5 to all of your saving throws. Paladins can do that at level 6, and they give it to everybody. I just want to point that out. Okay. The 15th level, Perfect Discipline. When you roll initiative, you gain 4 expending discipline points if you have none remaining. Cool. 16th level, Ability Score Improvement. You gain the Ability Score Improvement, blah, blah, blah. Subclass feature, Superior Defense. Okay. And Defy Death is now, like, if you die, you can come back to life. Warrior of Shadow. Warrior of Shadow updates, formerly Way of Shadow, and has been redesigned, giving Monk Dark Vision, a darkness that costs fewer discipline points than before, and the darkness can be moved each turn. The monk can also see in their own darkness. This is a good change. Improved Shadow Step is not a feature that allows Shadow Step to be used in bright light, has been moved to the 17th level and redesigned to empower the monk while in dim or light darkness. So what we're looking for here, remember, is the monk currently is ineffective because it doesn't deal enough damage. We are looking for ways to improve its damage. Let us look. Because currently, at 5th level, the damage that a monk would deal is 4.5 plus 5 times 4. That's 38 damage. That's pretty good. But considering that the fighter can deal in this a d10 plus 5 times 4 plus 4.5 times 4 can deal 60 damage, nearly doubling that, your martial role is being taken over by a fighter once again because they, for some reason, nerfed the monk and they didn't nerf the fighter. And keep in mind, the fighter is dealing more damage and applying conditions like prone, like fear, like charm, like they're doing all of this stuff, and the monk is doing fuck all. So we're looking for things that increase damage, and if that doesn't do that, the monk is going to be in another shitty place again. This is especially annoying considering how great Baldur's Gate's monk is. Baldur's Gate 3 monk is really, really good, and then the 1 D&D one is just fucking awful. It's confusing. You can move its area, dark vision. So this darkness thing, what it will allow is it will give you a higher chance to hit your opponents because you can put it on people and then you basically get advantage to hit. This is pretty solid. Not amazing, not terrible. It's pretty good. The Shadow Monk has always been pretty okay. You gain dark vision with a range of 60 feet. If you're at dark vision, its range increases by 60 feet. That's pretty great. Now, the Minor Illusion cantrip, you can use Wisdom as the spellcasting ability for it. Hopefully learn more stuff because I know the old one got passed without trace and that was really good. Shadow Step. While entirely within dim or light darkness, you can use a bonus action to teleport up to 60 feet away to an unoccupied space. I don't know if they had passed without trace. I'm not going to say that. I'm redact that statement. You then have advantage on the next melee attack you make before the end of your next turn. That's pretty okay. You can like move your darkness and teleport to it and make that attack, but you already have advantage from the darkness. So this is like, it's fine. Improved Shadow Step. You can draw on your connection to Shadow to empower your teleportation. When you use Shadow Step, you can spend 1 discipline point. Remove the requirement. Must start or end in dim, light, or darkness for that use of the feature. As part of this bonus action, you can make an unarmed strike immediately after the teleportation. This just makes the monk more efficient. As a bonus action, while entirely within the dim or light darkness, you can spend 3 discipline points to charge yourself in magical darkness for 1 minute, until you have the incapacitated condition or until you end your turn in bright light. The invisible condition, you can move through the creatures and objects as if they were difficult terrain, but you take force damage. That's not good. You can use your flurry of blows without spending any discipline points. This is fine. This is fine. It's just a very efficient monk, but it's not dealing enough damage. It's really struggling. It's very much struggling. Elements Monk. Disciple of the Elements has been replaced with the new features gained at levels. Monk only gains subclass features. New feature with enhances the monk's unarmed strikes with elemental powers, replacing elemental discipline options like Fangs of the Fire Snake. Environmental Burst. New feature allows the monk to create a blast of destructive energy in an area, replacing elemental discipline options like Flames of the Phoenix. Okay, Strides of Elements. Elemental Epitome. Okay. At 3rd level, you have attuned yourself with the elemental force of the multiverse. You know the Elementalism cantrip. In addition, at the start of your turn, you can spend... What is the Elementalism cantrip? Oh, it's a harmless cantrip. Okay, so we got some more flavor abilities. We got some more flavor win for the monk. In addition, at the start of your turn, spend 1 discipline point to imbue yourself with elemental energy. At the end is after 10 minutes or until you have the incapacity. Continue getting the following benefits. When you hit your arm strike, you can call it to deal a damage type. When you deal one of these types, you can also force the target to make a strength save. On fail, move it 10 feet towards or away from you. And you get reach. So this feature does not add more damage. As a magic action, you can spend 2 discipline points to cause environmental energy to burst in 20-foot radius sphere centered on point. Dex save. On fail, the creature takes damage type of your chosen type equal to 3 rolls of your martial arts dice. So that's going to be 3d8. So it's going to be roughly like 12 damage. That's really bad. This is really mediocre. Dealing like 12 damage in an area and then making a single unarmed strike as a bonus action? Dude, that's really bad. Hey, would you look at that? You get to make, when you use your Step of the Wind feature, you gain a fly speed and swim speed for 10 minutes, making one of your own features completely useless previously. You know, the one that you can walk on walls? Congratulations! This feature makes that feature completely fucking worthless. Gain resistance to a damage type. Increase your movement by 20 feet. When you enter space within 5 feet of the damage is the same type. For that duration, any creature of your choice takes damage equal to 1 roll of martial arts dice. When you enter a space within 5 feet of it, the damage is the same type. Creature can take this damage only once per turn. Empowered strikes. Once on each of your turns, you can deal extra damage to a target equal to 1 roll of your martial arts dice when you hit it with an unarmed strikes. So you get an extra, I think, D10 at this point? Damn, that's not enough. That is not enough. The Warrior of the Open Hand Monk. Let's look at it. Now requires a saving throw for all 3 effects, not just 2 of them. Massive nerf for already a dogshit class. Wholeness of body. Requires a bonus action rather than an action. Can use more. Okay, what does wholeness of body do? Is it good? You can heal yourself. 1 discipline point and roll your martial arts die. You regain a number of hit points equal to the number rolled, plus your wisdom modifier. You can use this feature a number of times equal to your wisdom modifier. Okay, that's fucking worthless. Fleet step. Uses martial arts discipline feature without spending any discipline points. Okay, so you get to be a level 2 rogue. As an 11th level feature, you set up lethal vibrations. When you hit with an unarmed strike, you spend 3 discipline points. This lasts for a number of days equal to your monk level. These vibrations are harmless and you need to use your action to end them. To do so, you and the target must be on the same plane of existence. When you use this action, the target must make a con saving throw, taking 10 d12 plus monk level force damage on fail or half as much on a successful save. They nerfed Quivering Palm. They nerfed Quivering Palm. That's unfucking believable. Let's just nerf the monk! Let's nerf the worst fucking class in the game! Why? This is terrible. Because you know what's gonna happen? At level 20, whoop-de-fucking-do, you got D12s. I think the highest damage is the fucking way of the 4 elements. Fuck, man. You get an extra D12 per turn. Well, you're dealing 52.5 damage, guys! That's so cool! That's so crazy! The monk's dealing 52.5 damage and is potentially failing a stunning strike and a quivering palm! All in one turn? Say it ain't so. This is dog shit. Holy shit. I actually can't believe it. This is genuinely jarring. Staggering. How much they managed to nerf the shittiest class in 5e. I didn't think it was physically possible to make a class worse than the 5th edition monk, but they found it. They did. They found a way. Holy shit. They made the shittiest class in the game even shittier. This is unfucking believable. Monks were dog shit in 5th edition, and they will remain dog shit in 1D&D. I don't get it. I don't get the design philosophy behind 1D&D because I've looked over Wizard and Warlock very thoroughly. They got flat out buffs to their spell slots, the number that they have, the amount that they can recover, and then they just nerfed the shit out of Monk. They left Fighter basically the same. They reworked Divine Smite in Paladin, which is now requires a bonus action. After you hit, and then you expend your bonus action in the spell slots. You can only do it once per turn. When that was never the problem. The problem with the Paladin was that it had the fucking auras, which completely invalidates so many things. Giving that buff to the saving throws completely invalidates so many classes. It's like, oh, the monk gets wholeness of body, or whatever the fuck it's called. A disciplined survivor at 14th level gets to add proficiency in all your saving throws. That's crazy. A paladin gets to add +5 to all its saving throws by level 6. 8 levels earlier. How do you fuck this up? How? Genuinely, Wizards of the Coast. I'm genuinely asking at this point, how do you fuck this up? Because currently, your monks are dealing 0 damage. You listened to reason, and you gave them better damage dice. Thank you. Fucking thank you. This should have been out years ago, but fucking thank you. But you know what's insane? Do you want to know what scales better than monk damage dice? The cantrip Shillelagh now. Because it gets to 2d6 by level 17. Fucking madness. All of the martials are for some reason getting weird nerfs. Despite being promised that they would be stronger, they are currently very much weaker. Because it seems like Wizards of the Coast does not understand how strong spellcasting is. Because spellcasters are getting buffs. All around are getting buffed. Wizards got buffed for some reason. I don't know why. Wizards are the best class in 5th edition. But they got a buff. Monks, the oft debated worst class of the game. The only other one that's in contention is the rogue. Got a nerf. Like, this is ludicrous. This is actually ludicrous that the monk is getting nerfs. Quivering Palm used to at least have a pretty cool effect if they failed to save or it killed them. It reduced them to 0 hit points. Now it does 10d12 damage? 65 damage? Really? An action surging fighter does well into the hundreds. I don't get it. I don't get the design philosophy. I don't understand what's going on. Because martials were in a shitty place in 5th edition. It seems like they haven't figured out why. And look, I know that some of you are going to jump into the comments and say the changes are fine. The changes are fine because they still have some abilities and there's the weapon masteries and feats. But I hope that most of you are going to listen to at least a modicum of reason and realize that I'm not attacking your favorite class because I've got a hate boner. I say the monk sucks because I've empirically analyzed how bad it is in 5th edition, and it's dog shit. It is outperformed by every other martial, by a landslide. And now we have this monk, which is gonna get outperformed even harder, because the few good things the monk had have been nerfed. This is what happens when we don't do empirical analysis and just go, oh, well, there was that one time my monster got stun locked by the monk, and that was really annoying, and that's because Stunning Strike is really strong. Instead of then going, yeah, but who is the fucking person that dealt 30 million damage that turn? Was it the wizard, perhaps? It was probably the wizard. I don't understand why we're nerfing the martials. I don't get it. The martials need flat-out damage buffs, or this is gonna be 5e but worse. Except for Fighter, apparently. Fighter's untouchable. Fighter's got buffed. I love Fighter. Fighter's my favorite class. I'm happy for Fighter. But why the nerf Monk? You can't just give monks a new damage dice and call it a day. They need more. Every other class, at least in 5th edition, could add on extra damage to their already higher damage. This just puts them in the same playing field. This is like, congratulations, you made it out of Little League. That's all giving them the extra damage dice does, is it brings them to the same level of the starting block. It doesn't even get them close to fighters. Doesn't even get them close. And depending on what spells get released, there's always power creep there. So casters are gonna get better and better and better and better and better. I've already looked at a bunch of the changes for Warlock, and Warlock is so exceptionally strong right now. Please, do the surveys. Let Wizards of the Coast know that these monk changes are fucking stupid. To unnerf the monk, reverse the Stunning Strike changes, and I do this from a place of, this class fucking sucks. It always has sucked. It sucked in 5th edition too. Stop deluding yourselves. Genuinely. Because it doesn't, like, a lot of people will look at my videos and they say, well, that's just because you value damage too much in your games. I might value damage a lot, but I value damage because that's also what D&D values. If you look at the rules books, the source books, a vast majority of the rules are dedicated to damage. I'd say well over 50% are dedicated to dealing damage, are dedicated to how you deal damage, to weapons to deal damage, how to make weapons, how to cast spells, the spells that deal damage, that mitigate damage. How do you make a turn order? How do you run initiative? How do you dictate surprise? Shove actions, grapple actions, jump actions, move actions, attack actions, opportunity attacks, casting spells, spells attack rolls, spell attack rolls, ranged attack rolls, melee attack rolls. That is the majority of the rules. Classes, class features that deal damage, action surge, extra attack, destructive wrath from the Tempest Cleric, unarmed strikes. I value damage because it's what D&D has dedicated most of its rules to outlining how to do. I value damage because it seems that's what D&D values. And if you make a class in a game that values damage, that doesn't deal damage, you've made a shit class. Give the monks something to improve their damage. If you want to know how to do it, look to Baldur's Gate 3. They did an excellent job. Anyway, that's all for today. Thank you all so much for watching. If you like this ranty, rambly video, please go check out more on my channel. It is one of the best ways to support the channel. On top of that, check out my Patreon and follow me on Twitch. I stream every single weekday. Have a good day. Get the fuck out of my house.